Yo, yo, yo! Welcome to another edition of Viewers Choice 2013, The Real People Power.
Free your mind.
Yes, free your mind. Well, it is Monday night. It is 11/11, what means Monday Night Raw has just gone off the air, so it is time for our Monday Night Raw review. So, tonight's Raw kicked off with The Big Show. Of course, claiming how he's gonna beat Sheamus at Hell in a Cell. The WMD is more devastating than a broke kick, blah, blah, blah. He showed a couple of videos. And then the fans kind of reminded him of that embarrassing moment with Daniel Bryan where he lost the world title after winning it in 45 seconds.
45 seconds.
45 seconds.
So he calls out Daniel Bryan to rectify the situation.
Yes. And what ensued was an ass whooping. He wiped the floor with Daniel Bryan. So at the end of the match, Daniel Bryan was about to get WMD'd, but his tag team partner Kane came out and saved him, which I found kind of funny in and of itself because Kane was pretty much laughing at him the entire way down the ramp. Up next, CM Punk and Paul Heyman. By now, you know, of course, they do the same thing they do every week. More about how CM Punk is WWE champion, how he's been champion for so-and-so amount of
330
Whoop-de fucking do. So, and then he paraded about how he chose his challenger for Hell in a Cell. But since the WWE Universe didn't want to let him get a word in,
he wasn't
decided to wait.
And instead,
and out came WWE Chairman, Mr. McMahon. And he warned Punk last week that if he didn't make a decision, he would make it for him. And that is exactly what happened. But that is for later. Second match of the night, Alberto Del Rio took on Funkasaurus Brodus Clay. That match was pretty boring, so Del Rio won.
Yes, Del Rio won.
Next up was another boring match. Cobra, Santino Marella, and Zack Ryder took on the Primetime Fairies. And the Primetime Fairies won. Up next, Ziggler and Otunga whined about how they deserve a WWE Championship title shot, and that Ryback pretty much has done nothing to earn one. So out came AJ, who said, well, since you two want your shot so bad, she put them in a handicap.
She basically said, shut up and put up.
Put up or shut up, yeah, basically. So she put them in a handicap match against who? Ryback.
And Ryback came out and started to dominate the match. Ziggler runs off like a little punk.
And Otunga got shell-shocked.
And conclusion, Ryback wins again. Still undefeated.
Still undefeated. Next up was another boring match. U.S. Champion Antonio Cesaro took on Justin Gabriel. Cesaro won. Up next was a kind of a funny little match. Matt Striker was apparently attacked by Daniel Bryan and Kane this past Friday night after trying to get an interview. So Daniel Bryan, who was kind of annoyed by Matt Striker's question, decided to slap him in the no-lock. Kane was, being Kane, so he yanks Daniel Bryan off of Matt Striker by his beard, which was fucking hilarious.
Yep.
And he pretty much says, "What? Dan, don't do that. No, Dan, you can't do that." So he helps Matt Striker up, pretty much still saying you can't do that. And then what happens? Kane chokeslams Matt Striker himself.
Yep.
Which led to a match where Matt Striker originally just wanted an apology, and somewhere or another he called AJ crazy, and AJ put him in a match with Kane. That match, as short as it was still pretty funny.
Because Kane was like, yeah, I'll give you an apology. Come here, hug me.
Matt Striker didn't want to fight. He wanted the apology. So Kane gives him a hug. They hug it out. And then a second time, they hugged it out, but this time Matt Striker kind of got caught in a bear hug. And then he got chokeslammed.
Yup.
So, needless to say, Kane won that. Up next, Miz TV with guest Kofi Kingston. Now, of course, by now, everybody knows that whenever the Miz talks, he brags about how, oh, I'm the best, I'm the blah, 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 and blah. Kofi, of course, doesn't give a shit. He just wants a shot at the Intercontinental title.
Right.
So he challenges the Miz to a match. And then a brawl ensued, in which Kofi Kingston whooped his ass. So, this Wednesday on Main Event, the first title defense ever on Main Event since it started.
On Wednesdays.
On Wednesdays. The Miz will defend the Intercontinental Championship against Kofi Kingston. And on that note, sadly, we do not have the IR channel, so we can't give you reviews for that. So,
sorry about that. It's not that we can't get it, it's that our provider doesn't have it.
Yeah, they suck ass. And we have both checked every single channel on our listing, and it's not there. So, next up, World Champion Sheamus took on Wade Barrett. This match was
A brawl?
pretty good. It was a brawl, back and forth. And during the match, Sheamus had the upper hand, and out came the Big Show. He spent most of the match on the ramp, pacing back and forth. And then as Sheamus was coming close to picking up the victory, Big Show makes his way down to the ring and pretty much interferes, getting Wade Barrett disqualified, giving Sheamus the victory. Now, so Wade Barrett tried to take advantage by attempting a sneak attack on Sheamus, but he caught a bro kick to the face instead. Then the Big Show was about to get into the ring and pretty much follow up, but then he got clotheslined right back over that ring. Next up, Divas Championship. Eve defended against Layla. She finally got her rematch. This was a pretty good match too.
It was pretty good, back and forth, and then during a kickoff, well, Layla was going up on the ropes to do something, and Eve trips her up. Layla falls. She went to pin her. It was 1, 2. Layla's foot got on the rope, and the ref still called 3. He didn't see the foot on the rope.
No, there was another bullshit call, and I think it's the same bullshit call by the same fucking referee.
It was the same ref.
He needs to get fired. That was fucking just dumb.
This is third time.
He sucks.
Yep.
But I don't think we've heard the last of Layla and Eve's confrontation. Because apparently on Friday Night SmackDown, Theodore Long found a blonde wig. Now, judging from Caitlyn, her assailant at Night of Champions was a blonde. So now the question is, who was wearing that wig?
Yep.
And the only name that comes to mind is Eve. She's
the only one that wanted
the game.
Yep.
I mean, she apparently was next in line for the championship anyway. Well,
so she just boosted it up.
She just made it so she pretty much got it.
Yep.
Next up was the Rhodes Scholars versus Primo and Epico. And I'm yawning because
it was boring.
Yeah.
It was boring. Rhodes Scholars won. Blah, blah, blah.
So then it was The Miz taking on Kofi Kingston.
It was Kofi domination, and Kofi won.
Yeah.
And how he did it was cool. The Miz, they were countering each other's finishers in the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, towards the end of the match. And then The Miz sent Kofi into the ropes. He went off one side onto the other. Something happened where The Miz went to go do something, but instead got a Trouble in Paradise kick. Straight to the skull.
And I predict the same thing happening on Wednesday.
So Kofi is going to be the new champion soon.
Here's open.
Yep.
I'm tired of seeing The Miz's face.
Yeah, me too.
Was that the last match of the night?
That was the last match, and then they went into Vince
contract signing for Hell in a Cell's WWE Championship match.
So in the beginning, Vince came out, and then he called out Punk. Punk came out to the ring. Then he called out Ryback, and then he called out Cena to get everybody in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then Punk was like, "I'm tired of hearing you talk." And he was blah, blah, blah. You know Punk by now. right? Then he signed the paper and he said, it doesn't matter because you were going to do what you weren't going to do anyways because your ego, your big ego, right? Talking events, you know. He goes, it don't matter who you say I'm going to face. I'm going to break them like I broke you last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then Cena was like, that's enough. You know, he yelled at him basically. Then he said, you know, he said a couple other words to Punk, but I forgot what they were. My apologies. But then he said it's okay because in the next 2 weeks, while your match is winding up for Hell in a Cell, all you're going to be thinking about, hearing about in your head, and while you're looking in the mirror is 3 words: feed me more. So John Cena stepped out of the ropes. He took himself out of the running, and that left Ryback to sign that paper.
So at Hell in a Cell, CM Punk defends WWE Championship against the undefeated Ryback.
And Ryback is home.
Ryback is like, fuck him up. So what does CM Punk do? CM Punk decides to get in Ryback's face. And then he gets, his face meets the contract signing table. And then, to leave a lasting impression, Ryback gives CM Punk a shell shocking.
So yeah, overall, what you give it?
Overall, I give it a 3.5 out of 5.
I give it a 3.5 also. But I know that the pay-per-view for Hell in a Cell is going to be off the chain.
Oh yeah.
Great matches coming up. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back on tomorrow night. We were going to do more shows tonight. I'm not feeling good. I haven't felt good all day. But tomorrow we'll be back on the air doing people watching in the news and topics. And we're going to be doing them from Monday through Friday. And then some weeks you'll get Sunday through Friday. Those are the days when we have a pay-per-view event. Or unless we see a movie or something like that, we'll be putting in extra shows. But the normal show lines is going to be Monday through Friday. And it gives us the weekend off just like you would see on regular TV. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Makes sense. But we'll be back on tomorrow night with the topics and everything. I apologize. I'm just not feeling good. I already took my medicine, so I'm going to fall asleep soon.
So, this has been Viewer Shows 2013, The Real People's Power.
Free your mind.
The review of Monday Night Raw for 10/15/12. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
Suck it.